Yo, what is up guys, it's your boy Jelson here, and today we're back at it with a brand new NBA video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about my predictions for the NBA's Western Conference standings in this coming season. Now, I already did make a video on the Eastern Conference standings, so if you guys want to go watch that video, it's on my page. And that video has my, obviously, predictions for the Eastern Conference standings. In that video, I did the first 10 seeds. In this video, I'm going to be doing the first 8, because I feel like it's more relevant for this, I don't know, conference, because after 8 it's like really anyone could fit in there. I mean, really anyone can fit in here, because it's a really good conference, and that doesn't mean just 1 or 2 good teams are good. It's like majority of the conference is good. So I mean, you can determine what you want to determine, and I'm not even going to go into 9 and 10 because that's just going to cause way too much controversy for me. Anyway, I have the first 8 seeds right here, and some of them you may agree with, some of you may be like, what are you talking about? And that's what I love about them, because they're all my opinion, and you guys may have different opinions on them as well. And if you guys do, please drop them down in the comments, because I love to hear what you guys have to say. And obviously some of them are a little biased for me, and some of them aren't. Some of them aren't in the playoffs that you guys may be thinking is a high seed. I don't know, it really depends. That's what's great about the NBA. A lot of it is NBA opinion like oriented when it comes to predicting things. And then after that, it's crazy to see how things, you know, really roll out and how the dice roll. And nobody would have predicted the Jazz were the #1 seed like last year coming into it. And if you did, you're pretty good at predictions. But yeah, that's what I love about the NBA. So let's hop right into the video. So for this video, I'm gonna have graphics down below about what their record was last year, and their points per game, and their defensive points allowed, and stuff like that. So if you guys do enjoy that, please drop a like. It takes me quite a bit to get these all situated and arranged. But at my #1 seed is the Golden State Warriors. And you guys may be like, why do you have the Warriors at #1? This is kind of a stretch. And I thought so too, but looking into the conference, stuff like that, I feel like Steph Curry, he showed that last year. He was in MVP conversations even when the team wasn't great, and he literally got them into the play-in position. So I really do like Steph Curry. Obviously, if you don't like Steph Curry, then I don't know what you're talking about, and honestly, your opinion is kind of wrong. Now, having Klay Thompson back, whether or not he's at 100%, even if he's at like 80% of what he was, I still think they can be the, you know, #1 seed, maybe #2 seed if he's not completely healthy. But and then also you add Andrew Wiggins, another year of him building chemistry with this team. James Wiseman just getting better. Obviously, he was kind of a disappointment last year, but I think this year he's just going to come in and prove that he can improve, and he is that guy at that #2 overall pick. I don't know. I doubt he's ever going to live up to the hype of the #2 overall pick, considering Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball were taken. You know, Anthony Edwards obviously 1 above him and LaMelo 1 below. So it's kind of, you're put in a tough position there, because it's like you may end up being a great player, but you're also snagged right in between 2 amazing players. So we'll see what happens there. But I think this team can be contending for the #1 overall seed and potentially the NBA championship. And I want you guys to let me know what you guys think about this prediction down below in the comments, because this is one that I feel kind of deeply about. It's kind of a hot take, but I really do like it, and I feel like they're going to have a massive improvement over last year, and I feel like Andrew Wiggins is just going to help their defense. Obviously, Klay Thompson's a great defender, and I forgot to mention Draymond Green. You know, Draymond Green isn't, you know, a great offensive scorer, but he's a great playmaker, and his defense is very good. So I think this Warriors team definitely has that shot of being the #1 overall seed. Now, moving on to the second is the Los Angeles Lakers, and this is kind of an obvious one for me. A lot of people probably have them at the #1 seed, and I'm not saying that because the Warriors are above them that the Warriors are going to be in the finals over the Lakers, if that makes any sense. I feel like the Lakers are just going to be overall the better team here, and I don't know, the, you know, regular season can be completely different, but I think the Lakers are going to be good in the postseason, and the Warriors are going to be a little better in the regular season. So that's why I have the Lakers at #2. Obviously, they were great last year, besides when they had injuries, which was most of the year. But when they didn't have injuries, and the year prior when they won the championship, you saw what they could do when they didn't have many injuries, and they're just going to be good. That's just what they do. They're good, and that's just how it is. They were the 7th seed, I believe, last year, which is ridiculous, because for a team of this caliber, if they didn't have any injuries, they'd be, you know, 1 seed or 2 seed last year. Depends on, you know, how the cookie crumbled, I should say. But the Lakers are just going to improve this year, obviously, with the players being healthy and them adding players, younger players and older players alike, veterans, guys. And I feel like this team's going to be that number 2 seed. Now going on to my number 3 seed, I have the Phoenix Suns, a team that made the finals last year, but unfortunately lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. Congratulations to the Bucks. I feel like they were a seed, or a team rather, that was like, okay, they're probably going to be good, but nobody expected them to be that good last year. I believe they're the 2 seed. And honestly, I was not surprised at all. I like the Suns a lot. I have liked the Suns a lot. And I feel like this year they're going to go to the 3rd seed. And that's not even a hit at them. It's just when the Lakers are healthy and the Warriors are healthy, it's very hard to compete with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were higher, maybe than 1 or 2 seed. So if they are 1 or 2 seed, don't like yell at me, I guess. Don't, barred my Twitter account because of it. But I feel like the Phoenix Suns are going to be really good as long as Chris Paul continues to do his thing. Obviously, they gave him that massive contract extension, and I think he's going to be really, really good for them as long as he does his thing. And the nice thing about him is he doesn't rely on athleticism as much as a lot of point guards in today's NBA do. And then Devin Booker is still super young. I believe he's 24, 25, and he's only going to improve still to this day. He hasn't even hit his prime yet, and he's just an amazing player. Obviously, Mikal Bridges only getting better, and guys like that, Cam Johnson getting better. I feel like this team is great. DeAndre Ayton, can't forget to mention him. He played great in the playoffs. And I just think that this team is super slept on, even to this day. Even after they made the finals last year, I feel like people are sleeping on them. And I feel like they definitely have that chance to make that 3rd seed, if not the 1 seed or the 2 seed. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm super high on the Suns this year. Now for the number 4 seed, we have the Utah Jazz, and obviously the Utah Jazz were the number 1 overall seed last year, but I feel like they're going to have one of those years where they kind of regress. It's not to the point where they're like, oh, the 10 seed and they're just terrible, not in the playoffs, losing the play-in tournament, stuff like that. No, I feel like they're going to be the 4 seed, and I feel like they're going to be okay in the regular season. I mean, better than okay because you're the 4 seed still, but you know what I mean. Okay comparatively to last year, I suppose. And I feel like the postseason, they're going to be okay. Just basically like last year, just lose a couple more games during the regular season. That kind of bumps them down to that 4 seed, because it is really going to be a tight conference when it comes to standings and games. And I feel like it's literally going to be, maybe 3 or 4 games between the 1 seed and the 5 seed. So it really could be like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if it just comes down to them losing a couple games that they're not supposed to lose, and them falling down to that 4th seed. I would not be surprised. And obviously the Jazz have a lot of great players like Donovan Mitchell, obviously Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, if he can come back and continue to improve even at his older age. Man is like a mini. Okay, I'm not gonna say mini LeBron. Everyone calls Eric Bledsoe mini LeBron. Anyway, he keeps getting better. It's kind of weird. Everyone thought his career was over once he got traded there, and I kind of was like, yeah, it's probably over. But then he made the All-Star, team last year, and it's like, okay, maybe his career isn't over. So as long as Mike Conley can continue to be the same Mike Conley, or even if he gets a little worse, I think he's still going to be good for this team, and he's a great shooter. So I really do like Mike Conley, obviously, on the Jazz. So now moving on to the 5 seed, I have the Denver Nuggets, and this is really tough for me because I feel like the Denver Nuggets are an amazing team. And it really does come down to them losing those couple games that they shouldn't lose. And that's really that big difference between all these teams in the conference. And it's just them losing random games that they shouldn't lose, or them, just getting upset, or them, making games close and just end up losing in the close game. And I just feel like they will be that 5 seed. And it's like they could be the number 1 seed for all I know. But as long as Jamal Murray comes back and he's like completely healthy, I feel like they could be the 2, 3, 1 seed even. But I have them at the 5 seed right now, are above the, Mavericks, Timberwolves, Clippers, guys like that. And yeah, I just think they're going to be that 5 seed. So now moving on to the number 6 seed in the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks were a fantastic team when Luka Doncic was on the court. Yeah, I mean, I specifically said when Luka Doncic was on the court because Kristaps Porzingis isn't very good. And I have them low, and honestly, I could see them lower just because of the Jason Kidd hiring. It really is like, it's tough because when you have a guy like Luka where he's so good that you could really see him overcome a lot of the coaching challenges, it's kind of difficult to predict because Jason Kidd really is just that bad of a coach, where it's like he could easily drop you out of the playoffs if it was any other team. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but last year they had a solid year, and I feel like as long as I don't think Kristaps Porzingis, actually I know Kristaps Porzingis and Luka don't have a good relationship, but if they can somehow overcome it and just be better personalities and just blend a little better, they don't have to be best friends, but just blend better. And if Kristaps can, play better in the playoffs and the regular season, I feel like they can stick at the 6th seed and maybe even go even higher. We'll see what happens. But now moving on to the 7th seed, this is where I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this is a team where it's like, okay, why is he this high, or why are they this high? And it's like, well, couldn't they be like a play-in team at most? And no. This is something that I believe. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I am a Timberwolves fan. But when you have a guy like D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, a guy that grew 2 inches, averaged 19.5 points per game last year and 23.5 after the All-Star break last year, man, is just only going to get better. Karl-Anthony Towns is getting better, and something you guys sleep on is his defense is getting better, and that's something you always knack Karl-Anthony Towns for, and I don't blame you for it, because he really was a bad defender, but he's literally becoming a better defender as we speak, and getting guys like Taurean Prince and Patrick Beverley especially are like massive moves for this team, and I feel like they are going to be that 7th seed, and I don't know what else to say, because it's hard to prove to someone or convince someone that this team is going to be this highly touted when they don't believe that they're even a playoff team, if that makes any sense. But I believe that they're going to be the 7th seed, maybe the 8th seed, or they could be the 6th seed for all we know. It really depends on injuries and stuff like that. But let's get past the Timberwolves here, because I don't want to talk too much about my own team, because I talk about them enough already on the channel. So now going on to the last seed in the video, the 8th seed is the Los Angeles Clippers. And you're like, wow, the Clippers are really low in this list. Below the Timberwolves? Wow, okay. Below the Mavericks with Jason Kidd? What is happening? No, my opinion is obviously Kawhi Leonard. I believe he tore his ACL, or like tore part of his ACL. I don't know how it went, but he's probably going to be out for most of the year next year. I like Paul George, and he's good enough to let them be in that playoffs or play-in tournament at least. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Obviously, them losing Patrick Beverley. We'll see what happens when Eric Bledsoe steps in. I don't know if he's going to be better than Patrick Beverley. I don't think he will. I think it was a terrible trade for them. And then, obviously, we'll see what happens with this entire squad, because that Kawhi loss is a massive blow to them, and you all know that. Obviously, if Terrence Mann can continue to improve, he's going to be able to put up some, big numbers with Kawhi Leonard being out. So I feel like Terrence Mann, as long as he can step up, and Paul George does Paul George things, I feel like they can be the 8th seed, maybe even a little higher, but nothing crazy. I just don't think their ceiling is that high without Kawhi Leonard. And if Kawhi is back by the playoffs, then we'll see what happens there, or by the play-in tournament. We'll see what happens. And then I wouldn't be surprised if, as long as Kawhi's healthy, if they make a run in the playoffs. But obviously, we'll see what happens. That was my predictions for the Western Conference. Obviously, this is my opinion. And before I end the video, I want to say a big thank you to HEENDOO. He suggested this video on Twitter. If you guys don't follow my Twitter, go ahead and follow it. I tweet out a lot asking for video ideas, and I also tweet out when I'm going to be posting a video. And I do want to give a big shout out to HEENDOO though, because he's one of my inspirations in this whole YouTube game and the NBA scene and stuff like that. So his YouTube channel will be down in the description. So if you guys do enjoy my content, please go check out his, because he's on the road to 1,000 subscribers and he really has quality content on that channel. So yeah, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, well, stutter much, but if you guys did enjoy this video, remember to like, subscribe. We're on that road to 300 subscribers. It's been your boy Jelson. Out. Peace.